Hello, my name is Brent Phillips. I teach trombone at the University of Houston. I'm honored to be able to select these etudes for you for the TMEA All-State Tenor Trombone Etudes this year, 2026. All of the etudes come out of the Waxman book for selected studies. The Waxman Selected Studies is one of the most important American books. It takes all of these contrasting etudes and organizes them in key forms, so it's a great book to pedagogically walk you through various key signatures and styles. It trains consistency. The book trains articulation, tone, and phrasing. There's a lyrical bel canto, operatic style to them, and then some of them are fanfare, almost theme and variation-like. This etude is the B-flat major by Balasanian. It comes to us from an Armenian Soviet composer who became the composer in residence at the Moscow Conservatory. So you'll hear throughout this etude a lot of strong folk-like melodies. I find that this book is a good complementary book to the Blasevich Studies in Clefs. You should also own that. All of the Blasevich etudes from the Waxman come from, obviously, the Blasevich Studies in Clefs. Begin working now in tenor clef. You won't see very much bass clef as you move through high school and into the collegiate realm. The Blasevich book is more patterned, it's more extensive, it seems to have a lot more of an enduring style and is just a really fine crafted etudes. The Waxman book, a little bit more condensed and concise, I think you'll enjoy. You should have both of them. So Sergey Balasanian, you'll hear strong declamatory phrasing, clear tonal centers. Again, I said folk-influenced shapes and phrases, so again, think operatic. It's sort of an orchestral rhetoric. Again, it's phrase-driven, and it's very close to 20th century brass writing. So in this etude, you'll find that there are two distinctive styles. A strong march style that is bold and declamatory. You'll find that's marked by the accents that are here. You want to keep this style every time that this section comes about, this A theme comes. And so forth. Just very full, very bold. Make sure the triplets are long. You want to get away with as much length as possible. These notes are not short, they're full, and they're broad. The legato dolce B theme, while it's not marked legato all the way through, there are triplets that have legato over them. I'm choosing to play the whole phrase as one intact, beautiful legato theme. So this, I think, really is contrasting to the march theme that we just heard. And you'll have that theme, that legato theme, come several times throughout. It's always after the march theme that you heard. Always with the march theme coming after that. One other thing to consider in this is your slide movement. Make sure that you're choosing alternate positions. It's not simply out of convenience. It does honor the phrase and honor the melody, but because of this key and the way that it's written, there's many opportunities to use fourth position. And you'll want to do that, I think, as much as possible. The problem that you'll run into is this sort of slush pump back and forth, quick style from first to fourth or first to third. You want to make your slide pattern more circular in nature. And I think this is evident in this one section after the high lyrical. You'll hear, if I were to play this section using all first position home bass notes, I'll do it slowly, you'll see my slide back and forth so often. That to me is just it's too abrupt. So you'll want to smooth, and this is all marked in legato, you'll want to smooth that out, and I think there's a way to, if you can use fourth position, you'll find in the Arbin book, the original Arbin book, all of the scale patterns have first position, fourth position, all of the markings, alternate positions are marked, and it gives you this nice circular pattern. So I think you should do that as much as possible. The choice is yours, but again, you're striving for seamless continuity throughout. Octave skips. You'll see there's some high B flat octaves in here. In legato. Don't let those concern you. So, how do you practice octave skips? I think throughout your warm-up as a student, you should continue to work on, obviously you're working on scales and lip slurs, but go ahead and begin to explore octave leaps in your practice. And just do it on the mouthpiece, really slow, on the horn, and catch all the partials in between. And then do a nice kind of fast rip. And then bring some dynamic down. Notice that the embouchure, when I go up into the upper register, I'm not stretching, I'm not smiling, my embouchure is very still. And I think the thing that's the most important, this was revolutionary for me in my development, it's about vowel syllable. It's about the shape of the palate, if you will, in the mouth. If you can whistle this, you're not using embouchure muscles to do that, to facilitate. Sure, your embouchure is firm, but it's actually the placement of the tongue in the mouth. And so just think tai, tai. And then you'll have a nice, beautiful, relaxed slur. The last thing I would say, there's an opportunity in this etude to use B flat in the valve. Low B flat in the valve. Again, if I did all home positions on this measure, that facilitates me having to go from a first position B flat to a fifth position G flat. Try the B flat in the valve, use the C in sixth. It's just so much easier. We use the C all the time in first position in the valve. We use B naturals, we almost have to. Rarely do we play it in seventh, although we should, on a long note, when you arrive on a long note, try to use, if it's a half note or longer, you want to try to use a sixth and seventh position if you can. But in a passing situation like this, tones are moving, particularly with triplets, go ahead and explore the B flat in the valve. The last thing I'll say is about phrasing and breathing, and we'll talk a little bit about a rhythm aspect at the end. But I think in this music, it's easy to just breathe out of convenience. So the first possible opportunity to breathe is not always the best possible opportunity. Try to extend your phrases. So a lot of the editing in here by Voxman, there are breath marks that are marked, I think they're marked well. I think they're smart, but I think we could actually do more. And I think as trombone players, it's good for us to find out, where does the phrase actually go? Is the phrase, in fact, in terms of the architecture of the phrase, a couple of small phrases that are strung together? Are there sequences that are happening? Try to extend your phrasing, and don't breathe at every possible opportunity. For example, this fanfare, this last section, which has a grace note, and I'll show you how I'm treating the grace note. It's right before the beat. But I'm choosing not to breathe where the breath is marked, and I'm stringing these two sequences together just to provide more length, more sustain, more character, and interest and energy in the entire overall phrase. There's a breath mark there. I chose to not use the one before that's marked and the one that I just played. So I'm moving some things carefully around just to extend the length of the phrase. Last thing is the rhythm. We have just played a grace note. He wrote it as a grace note. And then he adds sixteenths at the end in this sort of fanfare-like rhythm. So you have a choice. You can decide to play rhythmically, perfectly square, And I don't think that's a bad idea. It's not a wrong choice. But you might consider maybe there's a difference between playing something stylistically and something rhythmically perfectly accurate. There are places and times to do that. Etudes, in my opinion, it's a time to explore. I'm assuming that you can play rhythmically perfect, you have great pitch, good sound, production style, tone, all of these things are in play. Then you have the opportunity to make some musical decisions. In this case, if I were to play all 16ths, I'm going to subdivide the 16th. The rhythm is as such. So I'm just playing all 16ths. The grace note, you'll notice I put very close to the beat. This is before. So I decided in my demonstration for you that I'm playing the 16ths a little more closer to the beat. A little faster. That's a decision that you can decide to make. Great. I hope you have a wonderful time working on this etude. Don't let the high range disturb or bother you. Work up incrementally with octave skips and range building, and enjoy the process.